Thank you for tuning into our seller interview series. Up today, we've got a SaaS, info product, and affiliate two-site business for sale in the internet marketing niche. Created in March of 2017, this business makes $8,940 per month in net profit, and the listing number for the business is 45026. We do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the businesses they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Keith and Russell, thank you guys for coming on here today. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you for having us. We are really excited to talk about the business and be here.
Yeah, me too. Again, I really appreciate you both taking the time. I'm very eager to dive into this business. You know, there's a lot of interesting revenue streams here. We've got SaaS, info product, affiliate. But before we dive into the questions that I have for you, I want to go ahead and run through a little quick summary of the business. The business was built in March of 2017, has a monthly revenue of $14,222, expenses of $5,282 to make for a net profit of $8,940, which is generated on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this business are the domain and all site content and files for both sites, a Weber account, social media account, and affiliate account. Can you both tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
So this is Keith here, and basically my background, I'll give you a short synopsis of kind of how we got to this point. Started out in the network market, or not network marketing, but engineering space. I'm an MCSE, a Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer. I did that for a while, and then around 9/11, when that happened, somehow I always had the desire to be a police officer. So we packed up, our family packed up in New York, moved to South Florida, and became a police officer down in Fort Lauderdale. So chased a bunch of bad guys for a while, and then slowly migrated away from that back into the computer world. In 2009, left that all behind and started my own marketing company, and that's where I started to really develop all my online marketing skills and start creating products and software like the one that we have in the business we have here today. And then about 2 years ago, Russell and I met on a mutual project. We're working on a book project together. And that's how we connected and started working on the project we're talking about here today.
And then looking at this business we're talking about today, how did you come up with the idea to start it?
So at the time, we had an initial product that we looked at, and it was we're always looking to research different markets. And we saw that there was a lot of manual labor involved when you have to try to figure out what kind of markets can I go into, what kind of products are selling, what are people buying, what do they want, where can I get the products from? And that we looked at that and we said, is there a way that we can try to automate that or to put some software around that so that we can help people make better educated decisions when it comes to any type of products they want to sell, whether they're digital products online, info products, or physical products. And also when it comes to physical products, where can they find good suppliers, and whether they want to drop ship or they want to actually have them warehoused and handled for them. And that was Russell and I like to really try to put the customers first and find out, the biggest pain points, what are the problems they're having, and then try to take software and solve those solutions for them so we can help them run their business and live the lifestyle that they choose to do.
So then looking at all of the different parts of the business here, like I said before, we've got some SaaS, some info product, affiliate, there are 2 sites involved. So how does the business primarily make money?
So right now the business, there's actually 2 SaaS products involved. The first one was set up as like a research tool, as I was saying. And we initially, when we launched it, we gave it away for free. So that's how we started to build the email list, where we have over 30,000 opt-ins on the email list by giving away the software tool. And the word got out through organic marketing, through SEO, and the site gained a lot of traction to where we get the free visitors coming to the site each and every day. So that allowed us to build the opt-in list and, to utilize the software to support our customer base. And then based upon that, we launched the other product, another SaaS product, which was more specific to the, e-com research type marketplace. And with that, we used the free traffic to basically launch the other SaaS product. And then we've just continued to build both of them, as a joint kind of unified business.
Do the software programs take any additional maintenance as it currently stands? Do you need a developer actively working at them?
You don't need a developer. Developer is always nice to have it if you do want to make updates and changes. We always try to keep a catalog of things that we think that might make improvements. If we get a customer suggestion, we always like to look at that to see if we can always, like we said, we're always really, we want to try to make the customer experience the best it possibly can be. So you don't need a developer on hand to take the business as it is right now. There are monthly updates because we have a lot of data involved because we collect all the data and we make it easy for the customers to be able to do their research. So there's a process that we formulate, but the process is pretty squared away and pretty simplified to where you can have a VA, an assistant can run the process for you. So you don't need a programmer, you don't need any developer. It can actually be ran by an assistant that can do the updates. So that's the great thing with both sides of this, the two different pieces of software and the business in general. There's not a lot of upkeep because the primarily things that our assistant deals with is maybe resetting a password or having any type of customer service. It's really minimal, and we tried to set it up that way so that it wouldn't take a lot of time to be able to continue to run the business.
It sounds like for at least a little while now, you've been working to put processes in place that would help with the transition if you were to sell the business. So why have you decided to leave this business?
So Russell and I, we have other business interests. So this is one of our business interests. We had business interests when we met, and then we met and this project kind of came, we kind of birthed it together and it kind of came out of there and it kind of grew up to, it was kind of something we we're just working on and then it grew. And obviously we've gotten it to where it is. Some of those other projects though have kind of taken priority to this, as well. I've had some things with my family, some health issues, not with me personally, but with my family that they're kind of drawing my attention. So the more we looked at that, the more we sat down and said, we built this great assets. We have the two different software packages in there. We have, info products. We have the list. We have the grandfathered AWeber account, which is, they're hard, unless you pay for them now, you can't get hold of those because of the cost of them. So we looked at all this and said, it's not fair to the business really, because the business, it's a great asset to the customer base. And we said, we really, based upon these other ventures and the family stuff that I have going on, that we've decided that the best thing to do is to turn it over to somebody else. Our loss is their gain, and let somebody come in. Like I said, we got a lot of great ideas to where they can expand things because, like I said, we keep a list of things going. But, based upon that, our focus is trying to, we have these other things, and then obviously with my family. So that's based upon that, we said, what, now's a good time to, take a look at, letting somebody else take the reins and really driving this to where it could be, and even, just building it up to an even better business.
How much time does it take currently from you two, the owners, to maintain the business as it is currently?
Right now, from Russell and I, honestly, we meet a couple times a week just to kind of, take a look at everything, see where everything's at. But realistically, even with the monthly updates and stuff, if one person was decided to do this on their own, it literally probably wouldn't take more than, I'd say, 4 hours a week between, doing the updates, any customer service. And then we also have an aspect of the business because of the email list being so large that from time to time, we will send out offers from other affiliate offers, from like, ClickBank or JVZoo or things like that. So we will do that, which generates just extra income based upon the list. So literally 4 to 6 hours a week at most, because even if you selected an offer every day, you're talking, 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes to select an offer, write the email, send it out, maybe a few customer support issues because we don't tend to have too many. Everything's pretty automated. Somebody purchases, it sends out their username and password. Sometimes that isn't perfect. So then you just have to deal with those, password reset type things. Other than that, like I said, about 4 to 6 hours a week max to be able to support the existing business as it is.
You mentioned that the email list is quite large, and I want to touch on that in a second. But before we get to marketing stuff, something I really want to touch on is when you look back over the last year for the numbers, you see that, and keep in mind when I say this, the numbers have never been low. You're still at the lowest making $5,000 a month in profit. But when you look back, last October, last November, you were making $18,000, $17,000 a month in profit. So what happened between end of last year and now?
Sure, that's an excellent question, and no anybody looking at the business would expect to look at that and want an answer. So basically, when we initially launched, we had the one SaaS product, then we launched the secondary one with the list of the first one, and for the first 2 to 3 months, all the revenue that we generated with the secondary product was from our internal email list. We didn't buy traffic, we didn't do anything. And then at that point, we said, we have a really good, solid product here. So we reached out to other marketers and we, offered them an affiliate commission if they would promote our software. So we were really, it was a new product. Everything was, brand new. So we were reaching out to everybody we knew. And, the affiliates were coming out of the woodwork for all of the, this brand new product. So that's where, you see the huge spike when we initially launched that with all the affiliates coming on board. And since then, it kind of leveled down. We're open to affiliates. We don't, we still recruit, but we don't, like I said, when it was brand new and we had people kind of lining up to do it. So now, affiliates pop up because they find us either through the, initial software or the secondary software, and then we still set the deal up and let them promote. But I would say, as when the new owner was to come on, that would be an easy way because the product still continues to convert consistently across the board. So if they just put on even if they hired a JV manager, it could easily go out and recruit people to do, 1 or 2 promos a month and easily, increase the, existing revenue base.
And now with marketing, now that we're talking about it, the email list that you have, how large is it? When you say it's quite large, how large?
I believe the exact number is, I can tell you the exact number because I can actually log in here and I can tell you the exact number is 31,817 as of the recording of this interview. So yeah, 31,817 is the total subscribers.
And how is that list utilized?
So the way we utilize it now is we primarily do a few different things. We like to do market research, so we like to reach out to the customers that are on the list. We like to reach out to the other opt-ins as well and try to get ideas for, what the market's doing, what our people would want. Are there other products we could develop so that we can generate more revenue streams? So that's one avenue. So we do research gathering, surveys. The other thing we do is we do affiliate promotion. So if there's a product that's a good fit, that fits the market we're in, we may look at other places, ClickFunnels, JVZoo, places like that, where there's other marketers that have products that are comparable that we think our people might like and benefit from. Then we'll run a promotion to where we get paid an affiliate commission to send out that email. So we'll do that. And then thirdly is just, cultivating the list and trying to keep it as fresh as possible. So we try to send out any type of content that we can that can help our people better use the products and try to maintain that relationship so we can keep those open rates and continue to generate, revenue and sales from the email list.
So if you were to look to the future then, and you mentioned that looking to the future, you feel like, you're giving something good away, and you have a good reason for it, but you're giving something good away, so it has to have major opportunity for growth. What are those opportunities?
So one of the first area that we were looking at, like I said, Russell and I do a lot of planning and we make notes, if we have an idea. So one area that somebody could step in easily is with affiliate recruitment. They could either do it themselves, if they were more active in that, or they could bring on a potential, JV, a joint venture type manager that could just go out and recruit. And a lot of times with those managers, you can find people out there that would be willing to do it for, on a commission base. So sometimes you could hire somebody where you say, go set these calls up. Maybe they could set up one promotion a week and they get paid a percentage of the revenue that's generated from that promotion. So that's one avenue, is to continue, bringing on affiliate partners to promote the tools. The second area they could look at, we started to do some research, is into paid traffic. We have, obviously, Facebook is highly targeted. The one benefit that Facebook could really bring to this that we started to look at was taking our buyers list. So we have that whole list of the 31,000. So we can actually take that list and we can import it into Facebook, and then we can create lookalike audiences based upon our buyer traffic. So that's an avenue that somebody could jump right in, take those, use the lookalike audiences. The targeting would be hard because it's basically done for you. So Facebook looks at those buyers, they could run paid ads to those buyers and potentially generate sales that way. Obviously, in the paid traffic venue, another avenue we looked at would be to use Google, but not AdWords. Well, Google Ads, but with the YouTube twist. What we started to do as well is look at who are the big players that are on YouTube, who is getting a lot of traffic on YouTube, and then basically dropping in promotions directly in front of these big people that this type of software would make the most sense to use. So there was another area. The other area that could easily be built out immediately without a lot of work is basically they could take their sales funnels in place. Right now, the initial software that we charge for now, it's just selling the software. We started to research some products we could drop in there. So the buyer could easily come in on the initial front end funnel. They could easily put in 1 or 2 upsells and potentially increase revenue 20, 30, 40% just by dropping in something in the sales funnel in the front. And then you have the other side, the other SaaS product, which has a sales funnel. So the secondary funnel, the second piece of SaaS software has a funnel where we have one, and that's where you see on the listing, you might see where it says info product. We actually have an info product that's an upsell for when people they'll buy the software and then we upsell them. There's an info product that offers training on a specific area that's directly related to the software. So an easy way that somebody could easily come in here would be to address the front end sales funnel on the first SaaS product and then address the sales funnel on the second SaaS product, because those could be built out with upsells and downsells to easily increase revenue 20, 30, if not 40% by adding different just info products. They don't have to be physical products, so they would be delivered inside the members area with the software, so it wouldn't take that much. And we have a bunch of ideas for what those products would be and to help those, and we started to look at developing those. So obviously, as a new buyer comes on, we're totally open to sharing all those ideas. We have, catalog files of all these different ideas and things, and it just, we wish we had the time to push a lot of these, but that's why I'm kind of excited to be able to bring this to somebody that has the time, because I'd be happy to share all these ideas, and I'd love to see the site continue to grow and to be able to build out these funnels to what they really should be.
Looking then on the other end of opportunities, there are risks when you make any purchase, particularly in the multiple hundreds of $1,000s range for a business like this. So what are the risks you see with a business?
I mean, any business entails risk. I mean, any opportunity that you go after, is going to entail risk. I mean, you could show up on Shark Tank and get an offer from Mark Cuban. Mark, if you're listening, we're open to negotiation, right? So any business entails risk. So obviously, if they take it and just leave it as it is the business going to continue to grow? It may or may not. I mean, there's organic traffic that does flow to both sides. Is there a chance that it'll just sustain where it's at? It could. I can't say yes or no if it wouldn't. But I mean, to me, somebody's not going to invest this kind of money. They're going to just invest this kind of money and then just let it kind of sit there and percolate. This business needs an owner that wants to take these ideas and they can drive them in. And they could really, I could see this, expanding and doubling in no time at all with the right type of love and guidance. But yeah, I mean, like I said, risk, to me, it's a question of, everything entails risk. And if there's no work put in, if they just want to take it over, to me, this isn't a business you just take over and put on the shelf. It's a business with 2 SaaS products, the info products, the list. If it's basically massaged in the right manner, it could easily double or triple in value over the next couple of years with the right, guidance and ownership.
Looking back when you started this business, obviously there are some things that don't always go the way you want them to. So if you could go back and talk to Keith and Russell when you were starting out with this business and tell them one piece of advice, what would that be?
That's a really interesting question. And I always, in some of the books that we've actually published, that's a question I've asked people, and I've never been on the other side of it it's an interesting question. I mean, there's always going to be hurdles and trials and tribulations with everything in life. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, there's going to be failures. And to me, failures are, the quicker you can get through the failures, you're going to get to the success. To me, you want to fall down as fast as possible. So I guess in the beginning, I would say that, we went through, developers would definitely be one area. So, because sometimes you get a developer and you have this vision and, to me, developers, a lot of times when we hire them, they're kind of trial and error on some. Everybody wants to promise you the world, and sometimes they can't deliver it. So I would say to maybe put in some better vetting processes for developers so that you can, try to save some time there. It's almost what we've tried to, actually saw is that it tends to be easier sometimes to spend a little more on the front, maybe hire 2 or 3 people, give them a project, and then see who really steps up and steps outside the box. So that would be one area where I'd say just, a vetting process of developers. And I think that kind of goes where we're seeing that in general in business of hiring anybody. It depends on the position, but obviously the better vetting process you have, the more you can walk people through the paces before you bring them on long term. I think that's going to help set anybody up for definitely a lot more success.
Would you guys commit to a non-compete?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we built this up from the ground up. And obviously, if we wanted to stay in this marketplace, Russell and I think both agree that, if we wanted to stay in this marketplace, we wouldn't be here having this interview and we wouldn't be basically giving somebody a phenomenal deal on 2 SaaS products. So we'd totally be open to that and certainly would want to give the new owners assurance that, we're not going to take our existing experience and reputation and try to, go up against them. We want to see somebody take the site and be able to flourish and to grow with it. So we definitely wouldn't want to hinder that process at all.
How much support are you willing to offer a new owner during the transition period?
I mean, Russell and I are pretty hands-on. I mean, we've built the business from the ground up, so we know all the ins and outs. And like I said, it's kind of like, we've grown these 2 pieces of software. So it's kind of like children, you feel like they're your babies. So we don't want to just, hand them off and be like, here, here's the kid, we're going out to dinner type thing. We're here to support, and we want people to feel comfortable that they understand the ins and outs, because there's different pieces. And obviously with 2 different pieces of software, and we have, the membership area, and then we have, the email list and stuff. We want them to fully understand how to drive the car. We're not going to just sell them the, the Rolls Royce and be like, have a nice day. We want to show you how to drive it, how to get it up to speed, how to maintain it, and then how to grow it. Like I said, we have a lot of great ideas, and we're open to share that. If the new owner's open to hearing those, we certainly want to be able to transfer as much expertise as we can. And then we understand there's a kind of a hard line when you sell a business, right? There may be a period of 30 days that's, standard, but it's not like we drop off the face of the earth. Russell and I like to connect with people. We like to make long-term friendships. So it's not to say if for whatever reason the owner experienced something, on day 37 or day 40 or 2 months down the road. I mean, if it's something that we could jump on a Skype call and handle for them in 5 minutes and say, no, we missed that piece, or we never covered that in the transition. Here's what you need to do. We're not running and gunning and trying to disappear. So we're definitely here to make the transition as easy as possible. And if support's needed later down the road, we're open to, if it's something that we can handle quickly and easily, we'd rather just do that and be able to help somebody continue to build it in the proper manner.
The best case scenario would obviously be for someone to come along and give you an offer that would be 100% cash up front. But if that doesn't happen, are you 2 willing to negotiate on something like an earnout if the right buyer came along?
Sure. And I think that's an excellent question, especially for any buyer looking at this opportunity. And ideally, we're looking for a cash deal based upon the valuation of the business, where we're at. But I think, Russell and I have talked about this. We're definitely open to consider all offers. We're not going to, just shoot things down. So we're open-minded. We want to find the right owner. We want to find the right deal. So we're definitely open to consider all offers. So by all means, submit your offer and we'll take a look at it and see if it makes sense for everybody involved.
Awesome, Keith and Russell. I do have another question for you both, and I want both of your takes on this next one. But before we get to that question, I want to go ahead and run through that quick summary of the business again. The business was built in March of 2017, has a monthly revenue of $14,222, expenses of $5,282 to make for a net profit of $8,940, which is generated on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this business are the domain and all site content and files for both sites, a Weber account, social media account, and affiliate account. So let's take this one at a time, and let's start with you, Russell, and then we'll go to Keith. But can you both tell me why, when you look at this business, objectively, why do you feel like it is a business worth buying?
Well, there's several reasons. 1, it's very easy to maintain. 2, it has a huge opportunity for growth. 3, it's highly profitable. So I used to be in an e-commerce business where our gross profit was 12%. And then, that was after, the cost of products were deducted. So this is highly profitable. As a matter of fact, when you said the expenses, a lot of those expenses are affiliate commissions. So they're direct sales commissions. So the actual overhead of the business is so low that the risk is very low and the profit's very high. So those are a few of the reasons that I think that it's a great opportunity and a great business model.
And you, Keith?
Yeah, basically kind of just to stack on what Russell said is, the opportunity It's here to, it's not, we call it, we're selling a business and it's kind of like a package deal. But if you really look at it, because of the amount of assets involved, you actually have the initial SaaS product on the front, you have the SaaS product on the back. So you're getting two pieces of, SaaS software that are up and running, been vetted in the marketplace. So a lot of times, from what I've seen in my past, in my history, and I know Russell's experience, a lot of times people lose money when they're trying to just find a product that the market will accept. They spend a lot of money and they put it out there. So these are both proven to convert products, and there's easy ways to snap on and increase the revenues, as we talked about earlier in the marketing. Obviously, you have the benefit of the 31,000, 800 plus email list. You have the vetted, grandfathered Aweber account. You have the ability to have 2 sales funnels in place that you can expand upon easily by dropping in info products. So we're not talking about having to deal with physical products and shipping or anything. We're talking about simply dropping in info products into that sales funnel to increase the profitability of the business. And obviously the ease of running, like Russell said. I mean, it is pretty straightforward to be able to run the business and manage it. But, like we said too, because of our other interests and because of, the family stuff that what I'm trying to kind of work through, it just makes sense for somebody that can give it that love and attention. When people focus on it, we can see that the business is going to just flourish and continue to grow. And that's pretty much it. But I think it's an exciting opportunity to be able to look at that. And the great thing is there's so many avenues of revenue, right? And that's the one thing that I really look at that makes this a very unique opportunity, that it's not like, oh, hey, it's just a store and it does this. It does this one, singular thing. Whereas there's so many multiple streams of income here between the front end, the back end, the email list, the sales funnels. I mean, there's multiple different income streams that are available with this. It's not just one area that you're basically buying one thing that does one singular thing. So that's the one thing I think would be really important for any new owner that takes this over.
Thank you both so much for taking the time to sit down with me and discuss this business today.
Absolutely. We appreciate you taking the time. We love Empire Flippers. We think you guys are so professional. We were talking about kind of earlier the support you guys give. And I think that's the other thing that makes this it's kind of tough. Like I said, these are kind of like our babies. So to be able to just go to people we had never met and you kind of say, your business is kind of worth this, but you guys have really, kind of coddled us throughout the whole process, the support, everybody that stepped in, and you're here doing this interview. So we want to say thank you to you and the Empire Flippers team. And we're excited too that you'll be part of the transition. So, as a buyer coming in, I think it's great that we have all these, vested interests that are taken care of because you guys have such phenomenal support and teams that make this so seamless. So I'm excited to, when we get that offer, and be able to sign that deal and work to the next phase as we transfer this to the new owner.
Well, thank you for that. And I may actually be mentioning to someone that they need to take a look at that and use it for a testimonial. But thank you so much for that, Keith. Very, very excited to be looking at this business with you. And hopefully, we can all come together and find the right buyer and make something happen here.
Absolutely. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Jake.
You're welcome. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. And if you want more information, the link will be below the video that will take you to this marketplace listing. If you're watching this on the listing site and want more information, become a depositor today. When you make the deposit, one of our business advisors will be in contact with you, and you'll be given everything you need to review this business. Have a great day.